hate exists in so many different forms and for so many different people. And in the world that we live in today, inciting hate against any person in our community or any community should not be tolerated, regardless of the reason.
That was St. Pete City Council Chair Brandy Gabbard offering her thoughts moments after council members officially approved a measure to adopt the formal definition of anti-Semitism.
It's one that's currently outlined by the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance. And while not legally binding, the idea is that if it can be a new tool for law enforcement and other officials to help identify and track instances of anti-Semitism here in the Bay Area.
Well, sadly, actions like this are needed more and more these days, especially here in Florida. Check out these latest numbers on the amount of Florida-based anti-Semitic incidents reported to the Anti-Defamation League over the past 5 years. You can see the dramatic rise from 76 in 2018 to more than 125 in 2020, and then the real increase to a disturbingly 269 incidents in 2022.
The numbers are one thing, but it's another thing when you actually hear the impact this has had on the hundreds of thousands of Jewish people who call Florida home.
Tonight, our Mary O'Connell is doing just that, going out into our community to take an in-depth look at the issue and the continued fight against hate.
The authenticity of this rail car came to light when a child's ring was discovered within the planks of the artifact, which now sits within the Florida Holocaust Museum in St. Pete.
We have over 20,000 artifacts. That's one of our largest artifacts, but we say with great care, because we have to be very careful, that it is very likely to have been used to transport people to their death.
Michael Igel is the board chair of the museum, and as the grandchild of Holocaust survivors, it's not lost on him or other visitors the significance of what's on display.
These were all people, but it also makes me feel very hopeful because we're here and we educate and we will not let people forget.
Yet even today, the rise in anti-Semitism is real. In 2022, the Anti-Defamation League says it tallied more than 3,600 anti-Semitic incidents throughout the U.S. That's a 36% increase, it says, from the about 2,700 tabulated in 2021, and the highest number on record since it started tracking these incidents in 1979. Earlier this year, Governor DeSantis signed legislation to fight anti-Semitism.
We're in 2023. I thought at this time we would be getting closer together rather than coming further apart.
Stuart Berger is with the Jewish Federation of Florida's Gulf Coast. To be part of the solution, he says, report incidents as you see them and take action.
When you hear something that you think is anti-Semitic, it's like, why do you think that? You know, why do you say that? Just get people to talk. And a lot of times when people start talking, they'll realize that they don't know what they're talking about.
Igel says he remains hopeful, yet he tells me being hopeful requires action.
It's not just a Jewish problem. These are things we all need to step up together and battle back. Anti-Semitism doesn't exist in a vacuum, but neither does the response.
In Pinellas County, Mary O'Connell, ABC Action News.
And just a final note on all of this, the Anti-Defamation League says fighting hate and anti-Semitism is something all of us can do in some very simple ways. The first is to speak up. You can offer your higher level support by signing petitions or calling for legislative action to strengthen our current laws. Next is share facts. If you encounter any forms of hate, report your experiences to the ADL, your local Jewish center, or law enforcement. If it's on social media like Facebook or X, which used to be Twitter, for instance, you can also take your complaint directly to the platform. And finally, show strength. This means speaking to friends, family, and colleagues about the consequences of anti-Semitism and hate speech. The ADL's website has a huge variety of resources available to help. We'll have a link on our website or to their website on our website at abcactionnews.com.
All right, time now for a first look at